Okay, this is a really quick video before the rain pours down. It's going to be a storm, I think, in a minute. This is to show where the Mark 5 Smiley transits leak into the cab area and the footwells and the steps. It's very straightforward, really. It's just a quickie. So here we start with the door. So one of the main areas is this area here, where the rainwater comes off of the gutter, roof gutter, onto the windscreen and off the windscreen and into this door gap here. So let's look at that first. So if we open the door, water comes round the side post and gets into the underneath of this rubber seal, door seal here. It runs all the way down the back of the door seal and goes into the channel that actually fixes over the seam, the actual seam of the bodywork. And once it gets into that channel, it can then run down all the way down to the bottom. And by now it's actually inside, and the water runs down here onto the step and underneath the plastic step piece there, trim, and rots out underneath there, and you don't even see it happening. You might just start to see a bit of rust here at this point, but most of the water rust is inside here, and that will rust out the sills underneath as well, the end of the sill, and can cause a lot of unnecessary welding. Easiest way to fix that is to use some plastic trim. This is angle, simple plastic angle trim. Let's see if I can see the end. There it is. I think it looks about 20mm by 6mm section, and all I do is I just use some double-sided carpet tape and I stick that to the edge of the windscreen here. It's difficult to show this. Here we go. So I put it just here, just the other side of the rubber seal there, so that it catches the water that comes off the roof gutter and it diverts it all the way down the door frame there and off onto the wing harmlessly. It stops any rainwater getting in that gap and into the step. It stops it dead. I can tell you this for a fact because I put this on a year ago and there's no rust and no water inside the door on the passenger side, whereas on the driver's side it's rusted out the step, it's rusted out the sill, and I've just had to do a lot of welding for the MOT because I didn't get around to fixing this plastic trim. So now while we're here, the other area is this rubber seal around the windscreen at the top. Where the rainwater comes off the gutter, it gets underneath this seal, this rubber seal here. If you use a screwdriver and lever that up and check underneath, and you find that it's damp or there's any mud and dust and crud under there, then bet that that's another source of leak. And what happens is the water gets under the seal, it runs down the O-post, down the windscreen pillar, until it gets to the bottom here, and then it goes inside and drops into the footwell. And I'll show you where that happens. This is where it comes through, underneath here, over the top of the wheel arch, and it runs down here onto this piece of the floor here, and this is where you see the water around here and there, and again it can get into the step via this bit of plastic trim here. So this, if you see any water coming down here or any dampness or water around here, that's where it's coming from, the windscreen rubber seal at the top of the windscreen. Now if you get any water in the actual footwell either side, then I suggest that that's coming from the scuttle. Let's have a look at that. Oh, on my knees. Right, now here is the plastic trim to your wipers and everything. You need to get this off at least once a year, possibly twice, because lots of leaves and debris accumulate underneath with the rainwater and it will rot out the scuttle channel there. There's a channel underneath this that takes the water out either side, either end. So it's only 1, 2, 3, 6 screws, plastic screws. They're very simple to get off, and that is where you'll get other ingress of water. And actually mine are quite clean at the moment. Just want to show that actually. Yeah, they're quite clean, but I would take this off soon and clean all that out thoroughly and make sure there's no holes where the water can get through into the footwells. If this rusts through underneath this plastic trim out of sight, then water will come off the windscreen, go down in through the holes into your footwell. So that's another source of leaks in your footwell. I think that is the 3 key areas. I don't know of any others other than possibly your heater and heater hoses. So there you have it. That's what you need to do to stop the water getting into your cab. Hope that's helpful.